this is a weird Band-Aid riddled Justin Trudeau, who drummed up hatred for unvaccinated Canadians or people, taking the wait and see approach for these novel injections when they rolled out in the late winter of 2020. Yeah. He's now accusing Pierre Poilievre of the exact same. Are we surprised? Let's have a listen.
Yes, there are challenges around the cost of living. But you don't solve problems by scaring people, by stirring up anger.
What?
He's hoping that he's going to be able to get votes out of it. But that's not how you build a stronger economy. Confident communities, confident countries invest in themselves. His solution on anything is cut housing supports, cut dental supports, bring forward a two-tier healthcare. You haven't heard him talk about the investments we're making in healthcare because he doesn't want to have anything to say about that. Because these are real measures that are going to be helping Canadians. His answer to everything is cuts and be angry. That's not Canada. That's not how we build a stronger future. That's not how we've gotten through the challenging times we've had in the past. Canadians roll up their sleeves and get to work and build and invest in themselves and their communities. That's what we do. We partner with people. We don't pick fights with mayors. That's where the anger that he is drumming up is dangerous for Canadians who would much rather work hard and build a strong future than throw up their hands and say, oh, it's all terrible, it's all broken. Let's all stay home. No, that's not who Canadians are. So I won't be stirring up anger. I will be pointing out where his proposals are irresponsible and unserious. But I will stay focused on solving the challenges Canadians are facing rather than exploiting them for political gain, like Pierre Poilievre does.
Exploiting them for political gain. Do we want to go right into that flashback of Justin Trudeau was it less than a year ago or about a year and a half ago almost to the day?
Yeah, 2021. And, it's odd that he said that people would stoke division for political gain. The PCO, the Privy Council office, literally studied how far they could go with demonizing Canadians in the lead up to the last election, how far Justin could go to stoke division before Canadians realized that they were being played by this absolute idiot. By the way, what is on his head? What is that? Is he having some sort of allergic reaction to blackface paint or whatever costume he's been wearing after dark? What is going on there? Does he not have a drag queen friend who can tell him how to cover up whatever that thing is on his face? What is that?
Yeah, we've had some conspiracy theories floating around that this is climate change, a result of climate change. Something's happened to Justin Trudeau's forehead. And so we all have to stop using carbon. We need to shutter into our homes, stop commuting. As Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland told everybody, I think it was yesterday or perhaps it was Friday.
2 days ago.
Yeah, to move into Toronto, buy a bicycle and hop on public transit. And that's how you're going to, I guess, curb climate change. But yeah, I'm interested to know what is happening on his face. I think an allergic reaction to blackface may be a very credible suspicion. But
just before we move ahead, he said that he doesn't want to have. He said Pierre Poilievre's solution to everything that's happening in Canada. I wrote it down as he was saying it. Let's just do cuts to services and be angry. If my options are cuts to services and be angry or out of control spending and being angry, I'm going to go with Pierre Poilievre. Sorry. At least I'll have more money in my pocket while I'm miserable. But Justin Trudeau's solution is just make it rain from the money tree and then force people to be angry with their neighbors through some sort of psyop on the TV every day.
Well, another thing he said is Pierre Poilievre just wants us all to stay home. I'm pretty sure for a solid year and a half there, the rhetoric from the Justin Trudeau Liberals et al. Was stay home, save lives. And so this is where we've ended up, is that there's just been no fiscal responsibility in order to stay home and shutter down small businesses in what was the largest wealth transfer of my time and arguably generations prior. This is the result now that we have record inflation and unabated spending by this same government that told everybody, don't worry, we have your backs, stay home, save lives. And you can tell he's getting ready for the campaign trail too, because a repeated slogan I hear him saying in these little clips and in his speeches is rolling up their sleeves and getting to work. This is the new
and you see
liberal
Justin Trudeau with
platform.
his with his like sleeves rolled up,
pretending like he's working.
Pretending like he's working, and I think it's just so he keeps the Play-Doh off his cuffs when he's playing in the car. But yeah, like he says, they want us all to stay home. The Liberals are the ones that are making it too expensive to leave your house with the carbon tax. Like the carbon tax is designed to change your behavior, so you don't drive as much, so you don't go places, so you can't. There, literally, that's what it's supposed to do: is to disincentivize through financial penalties using fossil fuels. We use fossil fuels in our vehicles. So they're the ones that want you to stay home. They have an entire tax built around it. Anyways, let's throw to that other clip of Justin Trudeau doing that which he says that the other side is doing, because that's always what Liberals do.
If you don't want to get vaccinated, that's your choice. But don't think you can get on a plane or a train beside vaccinated people.
And now is the time for people who are still resistant to getting vaccinated to realize that that choice, which has consequences on putting our kids at risk, which has consequences at having us risk more lockdowns because they haven't chosen to get vaccinated yet, that there will be consequences for those people in not being able to go to a gym or a restaurant, not being able to go to a movie theater, not being able to get on a train or a plane. I want to stand up for the choice of those who are there for their neighbors, not those who are risking us all going into further lockdowns, of slowing our economic recovery. Trying to bring people together is not always compatible with science, with respect for human rights, with the best way to move things forward. I mean, when Erin O'Toole talks about, oh yes, we need to unite people, we need to bring people together, he's talking about defending the rights of people who are anti-vax.
That's why we've been unequivocal. If you want to get on a plane or a train in the coming months, you're going to have to be fully vaccinated. So families with their kids don't have to worry that someone is going to put them in danger in the seat next to them or across the aisle.
Unfortunate that people who chose not to get vaccinated are now the ones clogging up our ICU systems and our hospital beds that should be available for people who did their work and did get vaccinated, making sure that businesses that choose to move forward with vaccination requirements aren't subject to unnecessary or unjustified lawsuits. If you make a choice, a personal choice, to not get vaccinated, then I will have no sympathy for you when you come to me and said, oh, but I can't go out to a restaurant with my friends, or I'm not being allowed to go to the gym, or my employer is telling me I have to continue to work from home.
Scumbag.
You don't have a right to endanger others.
And those people are putting us all at risk.
Just pure dehumanizing rhetoric. You don't have a right to endanger others for a shot that was never proven to stop transmission or infection. That is the misinformation of Justin Trudeau.
And Health Canada never checked for efficacy. They checked for safety. And, you know, to listen to him talk, while also realizing that all those talking points weren't Justin Trudeau just being a vile, disgusting human being with no regard for human dignity, who turned being sick into a moral failing of the people who ended up sick. You have to realize that that's just not him. That was public policy. They focus grouped this. They studied it. And then they carefully crafted their campaign policies and campaign messaging around dehumanizing 6 million of our fellow Canadians who simply took a wait and see approach with this medicine. And as it turns out, they were right to do that. Mm-hmm. They were right to not just jump feet first into this. And by the way, Justin Trudeau, how many times did that guy get COVID? How many times? He's like double vaxxed, triple boosted, and by the way he speaks about the unvaccinated, like they are filthy vermin, you know that everybody around him was also double, triple boosted. So who was giving him COVID, if he ever had it? I think some of it was an excuse to avoid dealing with the convoy. But if he did get COVID, he could only have gotten it from his morally superior triple boosted friends.
Mm-hmm. Well, all the subsequent waves of COVID happened when Canada was essentially in vaccinated only lockdown. If you were unvaccinated, as Justin Trudeau stated in those clips, you couldn't get on a plane or a train and there was no cross-border travel. So when those subsequent waves were happening and those variants came out of thin air, it was arguably the vaccinated travelers super spreading, and some would argue super shedding their viral loads, because we knew by 2021, there was studies, they were preprints at the time, they've now been fully accredited and are peer reviewed, that were showing vaccinated and unvaccinated people carry similar viral loads. So they're able to carry and transmit. And if unvaccinated people aren't allowed to travel, then where are all these variants coming from? So there's a lot of things and discrepancies that didn't make sense at the time, that a lot of people unfortunately didn't see at the time, but we know now, hindsight is 2020, and thank goodness we have those receipts and these clips that we can share with you that show that Justin Trudeau and his government were the purveyors and the leaders of mis and disinformation throughout the last 3 years, not the people who were trying to speak truth to power, hold the government to account, and get an alternative point of view by the people who are being slandered, smeared, and silenced just for simply questioning the narrative and the consensus, because science isn't about a consensus. It is about trial and error and question and inquiry. And that was completely squashed over the last few years.
That's a clip from something we call Rebel News Daily. It's our daily live stream hosted by my friend David Menzies, but the show also includes a rotating cast of hosts and special guests, including me. It's a great way for us to talk about the news of the day as the news is happening in an unscripted fashion, and it's an awesome way for you to interact with us as well. We stream every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Mountain, wherever you find Rebel News. See you there.